Let's talk about day 2 of the mini Florida swing we had here. We played 2 minor league golf tour events back-to-back days, week of Thanksgiving. So today we are headed down to Eagle Trace Golf Club. Wow, what a setting we have for today. This was actually the setting of a PGA Tour event, the Honda Classic in like the 80s and 90s. First thing, right off the bat, we hit the range today. I took a totally different approach. Yesterday, I got caught up in doing what other people did. I saw what the other guys were doing on the range. I saw how they had their alignment sticks down, and I tried to replicate that. I wanted to look like I belonged there. I wanted to feel like I belonged there. I didn't want to feel like I was some hack that just showed up with a video camera. Today, scrap that. Forget about that. Let's just be me. Let's do what I need. Let's focus on the feelings that I want to focus on today. Because yesterday, as you remember, the big problem was not trusting my swing. So today I said, heck with it, who cares what it looks like. I'm gonna put my alignment stick on my belt loops like I always do at practice. I need to focus on this feeling, and if I hit a bunch of shanks, I hit a bunch of shanks, but I've got to commit to something. Yesterday I committed to nothing, and it was a huge problem, and I couldn't trust it, so I can at least trust today that I'm committing to something, regardless of whether or not I look like an amateur out here. No picture today on the first tee, thank God, but a much better tee shot. This one heads right down the center of the fairway. I lose a shot here on the first hole due to what I'm going to consider lack of experience. Apparently the putting green was not cut that morning, but all the greens on the course were. So I had spent quite a bit of time on the putting green adjusting for the green speeds, and I felt pretty good about it. I had exactly in my mind what I needed from what distance, and then step up on the first hole here, have about a 35-foot putt, blaze it by the pin, about 9-10 feet. This is something I was not prepared for, I was not expecting, I was not aware of. And then I talked to a friend of mine who plays college golf, and he was like, oh yeah, that happens all the time to us. They won't cut the putting green, but they'll cut the rest of them. Not even roll the rest of them. And so that just hadn't entered my mind as a possibility, so I wasn't looking for it. As we're getting into the round here, I also do want to say thank you guys for everybody that's supporting me. If you're not subscribed, it's free. Just hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers, and just spread the message, spread the journey. If you do believe in my mission, my message, which is to inspire people to take a second chance at chasing dreams, then I would encourage you to subscribe, hit that like button. Really, the like button helps me so much in the algorithm. Again, completely free. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for engaging. And boy, this is an entertaining round. So stick with me to the end, because if there was ever a day when I wish scorecards had pictures, it was this one. Thankfully, we have it all on video so you guys can watch it, but holy cow, what a roller coaster. Hole number 2, I have about 135 yards left. I hit a little knockdown pitching wedge, and I straight up almost dunked this. It almost went straight in the hole. Left myself a 5-foot birdie putt. I mean, I was reading it right edge of the hole, and it didn't move a millimeter. And I've hit 5 putts so far through 2 holes, and I don't think I've hit one bad one. I've hit them all exactly like I wanted to. But none of them fell in, and it just kind of leaves me scratching my head right off the bat. Nice up and down, gets me through the next hole pretty easily, and then we move on to the second drop shot of the day. As you can see here, I found the fairway bunker after hitting it pretty low on the face off the tee. Really, I have a fine angle with the green, I can get it over the lip, but there's a rock right in front of my golf ball, and it's not like a little pebble, it's like a proper rock. I was unaware that you can move rocks now. Apparently that's a rule. I don't know when that rule changed. I apparently didn't keep up with it. But I was under the impression that since this was a bunker, I could not touch any rock in it. So I didn't. And the golf ball hits that rock right in front of my ball, deflects up and over to the right. And I actually spent quite a bit of time looking for this ball because I had no idea where it went. I didn't even see it. I made solid contact with it, but the rock immediately deflected it over onto the next tee box. So that was a little bit of an issue, to say the least. Find myself over on the tee box, having to flop it over a tree. Don't get the contact I want on it. But honestly, one of the best up and downs for bogey I've ever made. This was a challenging shot out of thick rough, which I normally struggle with. So I'm through 4 holes and I've lost 2 shots to just straight up inexperience. Just not knowing either that the greens were not cut or that this is now a rule. And I'm not blaming anybody but myself. It's not an excuse. It's just one of those things that happens when you've played 6 competitive rounds of golf this year. Actually, I guess, what, 7, 8 rounds in the last 8 years? I just need more reps. Probably the best hole of the day. Lone birdie of the day, spoiler alert. Pulled my drive just a tick, found myself under the trees in a little bit of a sandy hard pan lie. I tend to struggle a little bit with these sandy lies like this. I just get scared of hitting it fat, and a lot of times I do end up hitting it fat. So that was kind of my main thought here, was don't hit it fat. And I didn't, and it got under the tree, over the bunker, and left myself about 13 feet for birdie, which I made. It's a fairly straight putt. Honestly, that was kind of the theme of the day on the greens. All these putts were way straighter than I expected. For a PGA Tour course, it was very flat all the way around. I mean, there was nothing remarkable about the greens whatsoever. I was expecting some real difficult looks that we never got. Next hole, best hole of the day, most exciting hole of the day for sure, was this little par 3. Hit a 7-iron off the tee. I think I hooked this into the next county. As you can see, I almost hit the guys on the tee box on the next hole. So genuinely very sorry for that. Big apologies there. I wasn't laying up. That's just a bad shot. I was not aiming there. I was aiming about 50 yards right of that. But you know, when you have water left and you hook it so far that it goes over the water and stays safe, there's really nothing to do but laugh about it. Because how? You know, just how? So now I got a downhill lie facing water right in front of me. I got to flop it over this water hazard onto the green, keep it from going over the back. Got a fairly solid lie actually here. Best shot of the day, easily. Flop it over. Got about 10 foot left for par, which I take an aggressive swing at and just ram it straight in the back from 10 feet. But they all count the same, I guess. So next hole is a little bit quirky. It's got a hard dogleg right, but there's water left and long of the fairway. So I didn't feel like driver was the right play. And I'm going to take you through exactly what I was thinking on this tee box. All right, ready? Listen up. Here we go. Don't hook it, 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 don't hook it. Not the ideal way to hit a good shot. Yeah, so straight push this right into the trees. It kicks straight down, and I'm sitting probably 40 yards off of the tee. Don't have a great lie. Try to do something stupid and aggressive and go over the corner of the dogleg with a 6-iron. Just doesn't come out well. Hits a tree, goes out of bounds. So now I have to drop in the same spot that I was, 40 yards off the tee. Talk about demoralizing. 2 holes in a row. I almost hit the group in front of us on the previous hole. And now I've got to go back and drop 35 yards off the tee while the group behind us is watching. Make my drop, put it out in the fairway. I give up on going over the dogleg, just bite the bullet. From here, don't have a chance at the green. I lay up, miss the green again on my 6th shot, and I try to chip in for double bogey, which doesn't fall. So a solid 8, a snowman. Snowman in Florida. Who would have thought they would have ever seen the day that there was a snowman in South Florida? But hey, if it can be done, I can make it happen. So we are off to an incredibly interesting round of golf so far, and it's only going to get better. Moving on to the back 9 and taking a big, deep breath, because what a roller coaster that front 9 was. I feel really hard done by my putting on most of the holes, and yet there's an 8 on my card. And so at this point, I know I'm out of it. My number 1 goal was to make a check here. That's not going to happen. So it's really about just steadying myself, committing to the swing, finding some kind of positive to take away from the rest of the day. Hole 10's a par 5, reachable, so I hit a driver off the tee, laced it right down the middle. My 5-wood second shot. Not the best, but not the worst. I left myself left of the pin, just about pin high, kind of where I wanted to miss, so I'd say this is a good miss. And then I just flat out quit on the next one. Just stone cold chunked it, gave up, decelerated, which left myself with a short-sided chip. You can see here this sprinkler head is directly in line and exactly where I wanted to land the ball. So I couldn't really do anything with this other than hope for the best. And fortunately, saved a par from off the green after being pin high in 2. And this is going to kick off a series of holes that are very exciting. On hole 12, I'm flirting with out of bounds down the left again off the tee. Fortunately stays in. Not so fortunately, my ball is directly in front of a root. So you can see here, I'm trying to figure out how steep I need to come down on this ball in order to miss the root. It's a very real possibility that I hit the root before the ball and it makes the club kick up and I miss the ball entirely. So at this point, I am intentionally trying to top it. Just trying to top it and hope it rolls out into the fairway because the root is so close to the ball that I'm more afraid of whiffing. I actually get semi-solid contact on this. Looks ugly, is ugly, but it gets out in the fairway. Give myself about 60 yards for my third. And this is the shot of the day, without a doubt, the shot of the day. Hit a nice little spinner here that sits down about 5 feet left of the pin. And I've got a par putt by some absolute miracle. I've learned from my front nine experience that these greens don't break that much, so I just line it up inside the hole and smash it in the back. My next tee shot is probably the luckiest shot I've hit in quite a while. I mean, I hit this thing straight left. It was 90 degrees left and the tree saved it from going out of bounds. It hit this tree so hard and kicked straight down. Very, very lucky to have stayed in bounds here. And then another incredible shot when I needed it. 6-iron from just over 200 yards. Drew it around the trees and lands on the green, stays on the green. Left myself about 18 feet for birdie. We're in hole 13 now and I'm doing everything humanly possible just to stay above water. I haven't really made a birdie. I haven't even had a great look at birdie since the 8, but I'm at least keeping myself in it. I haven't hit many greens, I haven't hit many good shots, but I am scrambling my butt off just to keep something alive here. And honestly, I'm kind of proud of that. Like last year at this time, an 8 would have completely submarined my round, my day, maybe even my week. But this year, I feel like I'm handling it a little bit better to not only make the 8 and then stay alive, but to continue fighting. It's one thing to just sit here and give up or go through the motions, but I felt like I did well to keep fighting despite not having a swing. It wasn't like I made the 8 and then all my swings were great from there on out. Like, I mean, I'm still having to fight to save these pars, and I'm hitting, you know, some of the best shots I've hit to do so. Par of the next one, pretty straightforward. Then we move on to a par 5. Another opportunity here as I hit a good drive down the middle, and I've got a 5 wood left. I don't think I have enough to reach this green into the wind, so I'm just trying to play it out left, short of the green. Exactly what I'm hoping for. I give myself a perfect uphill chip. It doesn't react like I thought it would on the green. I try to hit a little check and run, and it just ran too much. This is probably one of the bigger blown opportunities of the day here. To miss this putt and never really even give it a chance was a bit disappointing. I'm sitting here with 3 holes to play, and somehow I'm 4 over with an 8. And I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, I'm working really hard, but I've also hit some good shots in the midst of this, and I'm also trusting my swing. I think that's one thing I did really well today, and I learned from yesterday. Just commit to something, and I did that. And it didn't always work out. I mean, as you've seen, I've hit quite a few bad shots, but I also hit quite a few good shots. 16, pretty unfortunate here, a hook a drive way left. Just got a little bit scared off the tee. Fanged the ball, I have to go up and over the trees off of a side hill lie. It was pretty nasty, but I do exactly what I wanted to. Again, good course management here. I took the shorter club because there was water long and just left myself on the fringe. And here we just have a poor chip and a poor putt. I mean, that's the theme for the next 2 holes. 17 goes the same way. Short in the fringe, really poor chip, putt doesn't go in. I mean, if I added up the distance that I missed all these putts by, it's less than a foot all day. I mean, I have just missed putt after putt on the rim, on the edge, lipping out. Putts just weren't falling. Now, coming up to hole 18. 18 is a 490-yard par 4, which is an absolute beast. Probably the longest par 4 I've ever played. Just rip a driver up the left-hand side of the fairway. Feel really good about that. And I've got a 7-iron left. Back right pin location. And really all I'm trying to do here is draw it off the pin and just have something on the green and try to 2-putt for par. It doesn't draw. It just straight up doesn't draw. And it gets into the bunker. And here is where a rock in a bunker does me in again. And this is something I really was confused by. I've never played a golf course with so many rocks and bunkers, and it was clear that it was intentional because they were everywhere. Every bunker had a bunch of rocks. Like the sand was just filled with rocks. And I don't really know why. I don't understand this. I guess they wanted to create some kind of waste bunker feeling. But dude, rocks? Really? So my ball hits in the bunker and runs up to the lip of the bunker. It's fairly steep, so you can see the line. It was going to come back down. It had made its turn to come back off the lip, and a rock stopped it. And so the rock is holding the ball up against the lip of the bunker. And at this point, I'm like, all right, these rocks, this is personal. They have it out for me. The first one kicks my ball over onto the wrong fairway, over the tee box of the next hole. I make a bogey. This one is keeping me up against the lip of the bunker. But now I know I can move it. And so I was able to move this rock somehow without moving my ball. But as you can see, I'm going to zoom in here and freeze it, just so you can get an idea of how steep this lip is and how close to it I am. I mean, the ball is just stuffed right up against it. You can see I'm trying to create more loft, more bounce with like cupping my left wrist there, just to hope to send this out, because I've got to hit it near 90 degrees to get it over this lip. At this point, my goal was to get it on the green and have a putt. There's a very real chance this stays in the bunker. So I've just got to keep my head down, swing, see what happens. It's exactly what I do. It pops out onto the green 20 feet. Honestly, I could not have been happier for the way this day was going. Just to get it out of the situation, totally fine. Actually, ecstatic. Gave it everything I had on this putt. Gave it a good read. Looked at it from a couple angles. Trusted my speed. Putt just didn't go. So disappointing 79 again, but very different. Back-to-back 79s, but very, very different in their execution. Today's 79, I actually left the round feeling very good about, because it showed me a lot of progress. Despite some maybe regress in the scores, I think how I performed showed quite a bit of improvement, especially after the 8. To go on a 7-hole par streak after the 8, hitting the ball like I was, making the saves that I did, I was very impressed with. It's very easy for me, it has been very easy for me in the past to mentally check out after something like that. And then to be able to just laugh it off and move on and continue to stay locked in a way that I needed to pull off some of those shots, honestly super pleased with. I don't think that's something I, in my golfing life, have ever been able to do. The swing's still not there, so we did see a lot of bad shots today still. But overall, I think I played much better than a 79. I mean, if we look back at it, if I move that rock in the bunker on the first 9, if I know the green speed on hole number 1, and if that putt goes on hole number 2, the 5-footer, like we're already talking about a 76. And then a couple more things go my way throughout the day. Like if I just, I don't know, hit the fairway on that par 5 and just make a par. It was a reachable par 5. And if I just make a par, now we're talking about a 73. And then one of those 2 chip shots on 16 and 17 goes a little better. Now we're talking about a 72. We're talking about 4 shots here that ultimately to take me from a 79 to a 72. And I hate to be this guy. I'm a big Clemson fan, and I listen to Dabo Sweeney every week say how close we are despite losing, and I hate hearing it. But now I'm the one saying it. But we are so close. And I left this round with more confidence than I came into it with, despite performing poorly. Numbers-wise, I think The score doesn't tell the full story here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks for the support. I'm excited. I think we're making progress, and I think that score is going to catch up to the progress very soon.